Rolex is the world's most well-known watchmaker and premium brand, and everyone has heard of it. What you may not know is that Rolex retailers throughout the world are facing one of the worst supply shortages in recent memory, called the Rolex drought by many. And Rolex has always been popular, but with the recent surge in interest in luxury watches, the gap between supply and demand has never been wider. Rolex claims that they can't create enough to keep up with the demand. For those unfamiliar with the world of luxury watches, the whole Rolex buying process is incredibly confusing. Not only are the retail prices of even the brand's most affordable watches prohibitively expensive for the vast majority of the human population, buying a Rolex isn't as simple as just walking into a store and plunking down a fat wad of cash. Hello, how are you? And welcome back to our channel. So today's video will be a little different from our usual. For this episode, we will be explaining to you how to fix the Rolex shortage problem and some glimpse of author Joseph Adams' opinion on this matter. If you haven't heard the news yet, some experts, like Rob Quarter of Watch Pro, believe that the present Rolex drought will end in the next 2 years. Others, on the other hand, are not so upbeat. We are in the midst of the most severe watch scarcity in history. Getting practically any contemporary Rolex from an authorized dealer is nearly difficult. You walk by the store and the cabinets are completely empty. We might debate why this is occurring, but the truth remains that supply and demand are vastly out of balance. There is a solution: observe dealer markups. Though many watch aficionados think that Rolex benefits from the shortage, since luxury has always been associated with exclusivity, however, this unsettling, unjust reality can only endure so long. As Joseph Adams of The Truth About Watches puts it, unhappy dealers and disgruntled clients do not constitute a long-term future. As a result, unless you've established up a relationship with an authorized dealer, like having been a high-spending return client, your chances of getting your hands on any Rolex other than the very least popular models at retail are little to none. Either that or spend years on a waiting list with no certainty of ever being able to get a watch. Now, Adams, on the other hand, has a bold solution to the current predicament. And his suggestion, you may ask? Adams' suggestion is that Rolex should relinquish pricing control and allow authorized dealers to overcharge timepieces as they see fit. If manufacturers allow dealers to mark up watches to what the market will bear, it would solve the current shortage in one fell swoop. Suddenly, instead of buying a new in-box gray market Rolex Daytona on Chrono 24, you could walk into your local watch store and buy it yourself. As a buyer, you'd get all the benefits of purchasing an authorized watch with a full manufacturer support and known provenance, he said. Waiting lists are a waste of time. Creating a connection with an AD is an authorized watch dealer markup by another name. Simply no pricing transparency. And there's no real difference between being ripped by an AD or a third-party seller when it comes to price markups, according to Adams. Paying these aftermarket pricing only adds to the toxicity of the system we currently have. The expert ends on a dramatic note. Dealer markups create an equitable system. They reduce access to a simple metric that everybody can understand. Every other way of selling sought-after watches is cronyism of the worst sort. All of us, from the manufacturer to the consumer, should embrace it. But you need to hold up. It's notable that Rolex doesn't give publicly their comments and sentiments, especially not on matters pertaining to its own supply and distribution, but they gave out a full comment regarding their scarcity issues. And if you're wondering what Rolex has got to say, they said, "The scarcity of our product is not a strategy on our part. Our current production cannot meet the existing demand in an exhaustive way, at least not without reducing the quality of our watches. Something we refuse to do, as the quality of our products must never be compromised. This level of excellence requires time, and as we have always done, we will continue to take the necessary time to ensure that all our watches not only comply with our standards of excellence, but also meet the expectations of our customers in terms of quality, reliability, and robustness. Rolex does not compromise on what it takes to produce exceptional watches." All Rolex watches are developed and produced in-house at our 4 sites in Switzerland. They are assembled by hand, with extreme care, to meet the brand's unique and high-quality standards of quality, performance, and aesthetics. Understandably, this naturally restricts our production capabilities, which we continue to increase as much as possible and always according to our quality criteria. Finally, it should be noted that Rolex watches are available exclusively from official retailers who independently manage the allocation of watches to customers. Oh well, it seems like according to Rolex, it's the official retailers who independently manage the allocation of watches to customers. This feels very much like an "it's not us, it's them" statement when it comes to overall availability. How about you? What do you think about this? We've used the analogy before, but it's similar to how Supreme works. The cult apparel label's purposely esoteric method of unannounced product launches, intentionally low stock levels, small retail presence, willfully unhelpful customer service, and willingness to ignore the aftermarket have all contributed to the brand's renown. Not only would allowing Rolex ADs to mark up their watches makes the entire process of buying a Rolex more transparent and considerably less glamorous, but it also allows the market to find a balance. It might also aggravate the situation. Rolexes are what economists refer to as a Veblen good, which is a form of luxury product for which demand rises as the price rises, defying the fundamental rule of demand. If ADs just boost their pricing, the aftermarket may rise even further. Rolex enthusiasts are the losers in this zero-sum game. Of course, the most straightforward answer to the drought is for Rolex to produce more watches. They obviously have the resources to expand, but it appears that they have been hesitant to do so thus far. While the existing arrangement isn't ideal, any change in the status quo may spell disaster for Rolex. They're perfectly content to sit still. Perhaps the best option is for watch collectors to just seek out various brands. Rolex does not have a monopoly on the production of high-end, trendy sports watches. These can also be other options that you may want to consider. Get on the wait list. You're seriously a baddie if you believe you'll ever receive an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak because you walked into an AD and asked to be put on the wait list without having a pre-existing connection. And buy a bunch of items at the AD. Buy watches from your dealer that you probably don't want or need in the hopes of establishing a connection with the authorized dealer. That will help you get the watch you really want. This is a rebranded authorized watch dealer markup. The only distinction, there's no way to know how much anything costs. There are still so much theories going about the Rolex shortage problem, but hopefully we'll all find out soon the ultimate and proper solution to this problem so that everyone can have their own pieces of this prestigious watch brand in no time. Let us know what you think on the comment section down below, and make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more amazing videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you again next time above first class.